Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum. And a very good evening to everybody. So let's start our session today with Ummu Kita Al-Fatihah. Bismillah. But before we start, can you guys hear my voice? Okay, loud and clear? All right, good. Okay, very good evening to everybody, especially to hopefully there's my students as well, also our friends, our alumni, and also to our honorable guests for today's sharing session. But before we start, I would like to take this opportunity to send our condolence to our Deputy Dean of Student Affairs, who is also the patron for this series, and also our alumni member, the first batch, Dr. Iskandar, who have just lost his mother recently. So we pray that Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala will grant almarhumah manifold blessings and forgiveness. Okay, so welcome everyone. Welcome to the first episode of the third session of Science Shares, a sharing platform between our Kulliyyah alumni and with our students, especially the final year students who will be graduating soon, inshallah. So Science Shares is actually a continuation from the previous Biotech Shares, for your information, where we only focus only on biotech graduates, but now we want to expand the participation from our alumni members. Therefore, we have rebranded this sharing session into Science Share. So in hoping that more alumni from every department, such as biotech, computational and theoretical science, physics, now we already have physics, chemistry, marine science and plant science, and of course our biomedical graduates. Again, to our viewers, especially to the younger generations of Kulliyyah of Science, we are already 20 years old. Our umur kita dah tua lah sebenarnya. Kalau tua, I mean dah kembali ke zaman dewasa sikit. So before this, biomedical science used to be a part of us, used to be a part of Kulliyyah of Science ever since the establishment of our kuliah in the year 2000. Only until I guess around 2012 or 2013, this department was transferred to Kulliyyah of Allied Health Science. So basically all the biomedical graduates who graduated before that are still considered as Kulliyyah of Science alumni. So whatever it is, it doesn't matter because in the end of the day, we are all science-based program, especially in Kuantan campus. So basically most of us are sharing the same pathways after we graduate. So okay, for tonight is actually a very special episode for me. First, because it is no longer called as Biotech Shares. Kita dah rebrand, kita dah maju ke hadapan. Secondly, because our guest for today is actually a graduate from biomedical science. So we honor our adik-beradik yang telah dipindahkan ke mak bapak yang lain, biomedical science. So he was my junior. He joined IIUM when I was in my final year back in 2009. I think our batch were quite close kan, because we stayed in the same mahalah. So we literally stayed in the same mahalah. So dia orang bawah, I was in the second floor. So I guess we had a good time as well as student. Banyak program. We joined a lot of program together, especially sport activities. I remember him as an avid, very good basketball player. He represented sciences, in so many games, Dean's Cup, macam-macam cup lah, dan telah mengharumkan nama sciences juga. So I would like to welcome Brother Afiq Ammar from Biomedical Science, class of 2012. Welcome, bro. How are you doing?
Thank you. Alhamdulillah, sehat. Assalamualaikum, everyone. How are you guys doing? I'm going to be very frank. I have done nothing online for the past couple of months, so I'm going to be a bit awkward tonight.
Oh, it's okay, bro. It's okay. Same goes to me.
But hopefully we'll have a good time.
Yeah,
but like Zach said, just now, Dr. Zach, not 2009 lah, 2008 I think.
Betul. Rosen aku graduate. Lupa.
So yes, we had a good time. I think our batch were pretty close, maybe because you guys just like few numbers countable by hands. Ours is there's a lot of us, and then yeah, a lot of activities lah. So what are we going to talk about tonight? I feel a bit awkward that I get to see my face behind your face there.
Itu actually, this is actually my, I just told my wife just now, I just get this idea kan, nak buat background macam ni, barulah nampak
Professional.
macam professional. Bukanlah professional, nak nampak macam ada attraction sikit lah kan. Kita kena kreatif, betul tak?
Betul. Just now I shared the same poster to my family and then my mom was like, ini husband Ilham.
Betul. Basically what happened is, you know, my mother-in-law also forwarded the same thing in our WhatsApp group. Okay, it's the family thing.
Yes.
No problem. Okay, so just a brief introduction about Afiq lah kan. From what I've got, I haven't met him for quite some time. Last time we met during my sisters-in-law punya kenduri, tapi we didn't have time to catch up. Kan, jadi so basically we ada sedikit information from that I got from LinkedIn account. So he graduated in 2012. So he was actually the last few batches yang graduated from Kulliyyah of Science, if I'm not mistaken.
We were the last one, I think.
Oh, really? Okay. Alright. So that makes sense.
Ada satu lagi bawah kita orang lah.
Sebab I think in 2013 ada satu batch Alip kan? Batch.
Ya kot, itulah.
Betul. So he is currently working as an operation manager, breakfast room. And I guess he is very well known among the barista community in Malaysia. A barista trainer himself. He has been involved in many trainings and also as a judge in many barista competition nationwide. So this is the unique part, a biomedical science, a coffee lover, Jambang masih panjang. When I was undergraduate, kita panggil dia Afiq Jambang. I still remember. And also he managed to turn his passion for coffee into profession. So this is something yang actually kita nak share kepada our students and also our viewers kan, and also our alumni. Okay, so Afiq, basically kita nak buat, this is like a two-way punya conversation lah. So before this, kalau you tengok the previous series, kita memang bagi, I gave like 30 minutes for the speaker to talk whatever, to present whatever they want to present, kan, especially on the career pathway. Tapi for this session, we make a bit different. So maybe kita just boleh borak-borak. So hopefully around 40 to 50 minutes, insyaAllah, we will try to make it. Okay. Sure. Alright, so can you share, first question kan, tadi dah tanya apa khabar, second question, so can you, typical question lah, so can you share us a bit about yourself and your career journey after you graduate from IIUM back in 2012?
Okay, should I share a simple presentation?
Yes, please. Yes, okay, please.
I do have, but don't laugh.
No problem, bro.
Okay. Give me a moment. Let me.
Can you share
the screen? Yes.
Do you have the? Are you allowed to share? Ke nak kena tukar jadi co-host ke apa? No need.
Yeah. Let me try.
Okay.
Okay. Share. Ada tak? Nampak?
Started screen sharing. Okay, dah nampak dah.
Nampak.
Career in coffee industry. Weh, macam bro.
Tak ada. Mula-mula macam poyo sikit. But after that, aku rasa no lah, I'm not going to talk much, but okay, bismillah. Career in coffee industry. Tapi sebenarnya aku nak cakap pasal aku je ni.
No problem bro. Memang tonight is actually yours. Tonight is your session. I'm just moderating.
Just moderating. Okay, harap-harap kalau korang ada questions, if any of you have any questions, it could be anything in regards to coffee lah basically, because that's what I know. So my educational background, Dr. Zack ada cerita.
Ada Mana bro?
Kau ada dah gambar pasal. Okay. But basically that's me lah atas tu. That is me throughout degree. Something that people don't know, during foundation actually I did pharmacy. I was actually in pharmacy.
Okay.
Then so bila degree, to be very frank, I don't know anything about my future, because basically when I was in foundation, I thought that I will be in pharmacy sampai habis lah. So macam okay, everything is set. But then again, when I got the offer for degree, I was like, lain lah, asal Bachelor of Science? Apa benda ni? So I didn't know. So to be very frank, couple of years took me a while to think what's next. So throughout the years during the bachelor days, I think what I tried to do as much as a student was to have fun. To be very, I don't know whether this makes sense to most of you or not, but I tried to have fun. So I get into a lot of activities. I played basketballs. Yes, I do play basketballs. Today I started back when I was in school. Memang basketball all the way. But during degree, I learned something new. I started to play football.
That's correct. I
Main
remember that.
guitar. Yes. So memang macam it's awkward for me, but I think it was fun. My main thing that I did unintentionally during degree was networking. So I made friends with people from other departments. I think that is what shaped me today, as in what I want to do, what I plan after I finish my degree. So you get to see my educational background right now. I just finished my Masters of Science in Food Tech and Science. Sorry, Food Science and Tech. Terbalik lah, salah type. Food Science and Technology from UiTM recently.
Congrats, bro.
Yeah. Kan I've talked to you
Yeah,
last
yeah,
year
yeah. Betul,
about
betul,
it,
betul.
2 years before. So
True.
macam I was like, I got this offer, let's just go for it. So
Yes.
what made me decided to go for Masters of Science sebab sebenarnya I have always been thinking on pursuing studies. So macam at first I didn't know macam takkan ambil MBA macam orang lain, or what should I go deeper into. So as you can see, the gap between the degree dengan masters is like 7 years. So I think throughout that 7 years I decided that okay, I want to do this. Okay, so what have I been doing for the past few years? Habis grad, this is the first thing that I did. I joined West Sports Malaysia. Like any other biomedical students, we didn't know where to go. Okay, because job opportunity is not much. Kalau let's say nak masuk hospital, the bright students will definitely get the job. Yang suka main-main ni will have some hard time. So what I did, habis belajar, first thing that I did was I went for NIOSH punya certification. So went for the safety and health program, belajar. Lepas tu macam, oh okay, what's next? So I got offered to join West Sports Malaysia. So West Sports, as you can see, is a huge company in port business logistics. So at first, when I get into West Port, the first thing in my mind is like, oh, nak get into dia punya safety and health department lah. But when I was there, the program is slightly different. West Ports Malaysia, they will hire fresh grads and then they will train them for 6 months. I don't know whether the program is still there or not, but when I was there, we had a 6 months program whereby kita belajar macam-macam. We go from department to department and then we are deployed as a vessel planner. So gambar bawah kanan tu kalau nampak a bit frowning because that was Raya. 2013 Raya kena kerja. So but after that I get into I was offered to join a different department by a senior. So dia cakap macam aku nak groom new marketer ni, why not you join me in marketing department. So I joined him. So what we did in marketing department, most of the things that I did was actually government affairs. So I did presentations for those yang datang tengok port, and then one presentation that I remember until today, it was delegates for MIHAS. So banyak lah, ada orang Afrika, and then there was this one guy asking me, I was giving actually I was just bilang terjun at that day, tapi I gave what I know. So by the end of the presentation, one guy asked, he was from Zimbabwe, he asked me like, it seems that you know a lot of things in the port. How long have you been here? 20 years? And I put my two fingers up, 2 years. So that is when I realized that okay, aku sebenarnya suka sembang. So when I was at the port, it's a normal day job, Monday to Friday. During that time, I talked to my good friend. We were like, "Hey, orang simbang-simbang buka apa? Orang buka cafe. Do they really learn something?" So I was like, "Apa? Orang minta je ke?" So member aku ni macam, "Eh, why not you search lah? Is there such thing as coffee certification?" So um, I found online the training center was called Barista Guild Asia. So I was like, okay lah, let's go there. I learned a couple of things, pergi a few small workshops, half a day kind of thing. And then up till the point, the instructors was like, "Hey, are you stalking on us? You attend every single program." I was like, "Hey, no, I really just want to learn." So lepas tu I start volunteering at coffee events while I was working at Sports Malaysia. So come 2014, I joined a cafe called Thursdays in Taman Tun. It was a new cafe. I knew them when because I'm actually the type of customer yang pergi cafe duduk dan kacau. And up till the
Okay.
point, the baristas there get annoyed basically. So diorang macam kan selalu kat sini kau nak kerja part time ke? I was like, boleh juga. So throughout 2014,
So during this time, you were still working with the Westport? No, no
yeah,
longer.
I was still working at West Sports Monday to
Okay.
Friday. Saturday,
Okay.
Sunday, I work at the cafe. So I will take
Okay.
the
That's cool.
latest shift on Saturday, which is like petang sampai midnight, and then Sunday I will take morning shift until afternoon. So basically I get like 4 hours of sleep and then esok sambung lagi. So that is my weekend for the 2014. At that time I was really like, okay, there's no such thing as just buka lah. So let's just learn something. As long as it keeps me going, so memang penat lah, 5 days a week.
For that time,
And then
you were not married yet lah.
I was not married.
Okay.
So masa tu kononnya kumpul duit kahwin lah.
Kira memang masa tu ada flexibility in terms of time ah. Kira
Yes.
you can do whatever you want ah.
I can do whatever I want.
Okay, cool.
So it was 7 days a week of work throughout the year. Rasanya 2 kali je kot cuti. Until a point yang macam okay, 2015 I got married. Okay, and then that's the time yang my wife was like, okay, go ahead, do whatever you want to do. Because we discussed, because I was like, I don't like my job. I said, I think it's a job for those yang nak settle down. It's not a bad job. You get enough money by the end of the month. Not say nak dapat banyak juga kan working in corporate compared to working by yourself. Tapi I think what was super missing at that time was
the passion
job satisfaction. I wouldn't say passion, I would say job satisfaction. Macam pergi kerja, balik kerja, pergi kerja, balik kerja. I spend 2 hours driving. I live in Shah Alam. 1 hour going to work, 1 hour coming back from work.
So you didn't really enjoy the routine lah, work.
I didn't. To be frank, in 2013, it was so bad that I got into an accident. I broke my jaw. I got so macam ni tak boleh lah. So that was the point when I felt like, oh, kena cari benda lain. But I'm the type that I don't really just jump into it like tiba-tiba. I would take some time, think and plan lah. Tak adalah plan sangat, tapi macam okay, do I really want to do this? So by 2015, I joined Barista Guild Asia, the company that I went for training. Okay, and then at that point, I started with training. If you can see the photo below, yang black and white ni, that was my first ever training outside of KL. This was in Johor. So this was what I do for the last, I think, 5 years. I think from 2015 until 2020, I do training, and then on top of that, I get into things like competitions. Okay, like the photo on top is actually me at an event, so I was part of the judging committee. So I got very serious into coffee. So I think a lot of people was like, eh, biar betul kan, kenapa coffee? And then is there really such a coffee career or coffee pathway or profession with it? Even my wife, I think, took some time for her to understand. She thought that whenever I go out, it is more of me hanging out. Because where I go for work is at another cafe. I will be doing training or I'll be having meetings, but at a cafe. And then I would meet another coffee guy, and then things that we will talk about is coffees.
So you train and work at the same time in the coffee industry?
Yes, so basically the work is training. I involved in, let's say for example, orang nak buat coffee, orang nak buka coffee shop. So what we do is that we train
More like a
people.
consultant lah kot. I mean kalau
It's basically consultant, tapi kita orang jarang pakai term consultant because the company that I used to work for, Biotech Asia, is actually a sister company of another consultancy. So this is my daughter, dia dari tadi nak tengok.
hello, how are
Yeah.
you?
Okay, so talking about consultancy, we seldom sell ourselves or tell that we are consultant lah. Kita akan lebih macam very specific. We are coffee instructors, we are barista instructors, but we also consult if you want to open a shop. So we will do setups, we would suggest you what to use, what not to use,
Wow,
the layout and things like that.
everything
So
in one.
yes, so and then what did I do for 5 years in the industry? Most of the things that I did was behind the scene. I don't get involved much in benda-benda macam kalau nak jadi famous, it's easy I think right now. If you guys don't know, we have world champion on latte art in Malaysia. So we have barista competition semua tu. So and then today with TikTok semua tu, so you can get famous as a coffee guy very easily. But I think it was different if you were to compare prior to pandemic. And then even before that, I think my role was more towards building up community. Tapi itulah by the end of 2019, when I was focusing on master's degree, I decided to quit the job, and then I tried to open my own shop last year. It didn't last long.
Where was it, bro?
It was in section 13 Shah Alam. I took over a friend's shop. So sale untuk orang tu was all right. So what I did was I changed the name, but I did the same thing. Cuma that I opened in February, I closed it in March. So apa yang jadi? Tak jadi apa-apa lah.
But
The
this,
pandemic. So
ini sebab pandemic lah basically.
basically it's about
Okay.
because of pandemic lah.
Yeah.
And then it's office shop. We had good times. Like last year July until October was actually quite good. Tapi lepas tu bila they announce CMCO tak boleh keluar, and then our area is a bit secluded, jauh, so we couldn't do anything. By April, we were like, okay lah, maybe it's time to say goodbye lah kot. So it's not official yet. The shop is still there, but basically we are no longer operating. We are home based, and then from coffee right now I'm actually baking. Wow,
is this something new?
Something new. So
kena beritahu Ilham ni.
So if you guys know about there's this guy that went viral last year in October. He runs a stall, a burger stall called Smash Burger. He's a pilot. Got retrenched. So dia pilot yang buat, so macam dia viral by end of last year. So we bake for him. We supply burger bun. So
okay, I was about to ask you bake cakes or burgers or bread.
A bit bread. Most of it bread. Buns, loaves, cake. Kalau
sourdough bread.
Sourdough tak lah at the moment. It's a bit more. It takes a bit more time for me because we bake like about 200 buns a day. So we bake by hand. So memang macam.
So it's a good business lah. So far so good.
Numbers look good. As in but in terms of monetary, banyak lagi lah kena buat. So
this is home based lah kiranya.
This is basically home based.
You don't have any specific shop for this?
I do. Okay, so kalau realize just now breakfast room, right? Breakfast room is actually the new venture that we got into. So I have two other partners in this, a chef and another guy. He's an engineer, but in this business he's actually managing our accounts. So apa yang kita orang buat this time around? We do breakfast meals, breakfast brunches, breakfast brunch meals lah. So we started July, tapi sekarang we put on hold because we are reopening our shop. Sebab macam consider macam we close the section 13 shop, So we are opening a new one by end of this month somewhere in Bukit Jelutong. So a small shop, but basically serving morning stuffs lah. We'll still be doing coffee, and then actually from there lah. Sebab apa? Okay. So aku sambung sikit lah pasal this thing.
Okay,
So
no worries.
my career, why coffee? Some people get into coffee kalau macam tengok this year, last year is because at first they always go out buy coffee and then suddenly tak boleh nak keluar kan last year. So a lot of people get into home brewing, we call it. They become a home brewer. They buy their own equipment, beli daripada sekecil-kecil machine sampai sebesar-besar alam. But what they do, they brew at home. So there was even
It's like a trend
group,
now.
a group on Facebook masa tahun lepas, masa orang asyik busy on masak apa tak jadi hari ni kan.
Betul.
So
Brew apa tak jadi hari ni lah kira.
So ada orang start group nama peminat kopi. So the group memang aku rasa sekarang ni dah about 100k followers. So you get to see like a lot of people posting a lot of things about coffee. Daripada I think from not knowing anything sampai lah segala benda dalam dunia ni yang pasal coffee. So and then you get to see like a lot of shops mushrooming, home based shops. Semua orang macam okay, just pop up, put a coffee cart in front of their house, small coffee machine, and then sell small bite snacks. Ada yang jual homemade stuffs. So banyaklah tempat sampai ada orang memang macam they open a new shop, let's say in Bangsa, tapi they bring the same concept still at home. So it's a new trend right now. So but for me, my interest in coffee is slightly different. It's not really because of the trend. I think it goes back to when I started like 2013 as a barista. Masa time tu kan aku start attending workshops. But basically attending workshops is not because I want to learn and then become super geek. It's just that for me to kickstart because I don't have a background as an F&B guy. I didn't start off like a barista when I was studying. Kan ada orang dia start macam tu, macam I need a job. Even in my batch ada yang kerja cafes masa sambil belajar. But I didn't. My first job when I finished school, I became a tutor. Okay, lepas tu aku kerja kedai kasut. So I don't have any background in F&B. So since I was working, I had a bit of money. So sebab tu aku rasa macam okay, I get into certification, I learn. I take this up as a new thing. But as I learn, okay, this is when the interest macam jadi spark gila-gila sebab aku macam I attended a workshop called Espresso Century, and then we were talking about coffee should taste like this. And then what? So apa yang effect dia? Let's say lah kita cakap pasal okay coffee yang from Indonesia for example. Why the coffee taste like that? Why coffee taste Indonesian taste bila kita minum kita macam kopi ni kau. Basically their practice is when they harvest the coffee, ni dulu punya practice lah. Right now they dah practice lain lah. They have evolved juga. So back then what they do is that whenever they have coffee plug, okay, they harvest. After they harvest, they will dry it and then they will put it on a patio. Okay, kalau tak patio pun dia letak je atas tanah. So sebab tu kopi dia rasa rasa earthy. Kalau kita minum kopi kita minum, kita rasa macam kenapa kopi ni pekat sangat kan? Rasa macam rasa macam minum tanah ke tak gula. Basically it's because of that. So that was intriguing. Macam ada science lah dekat sini. Lepas tu when you talk about brewing, ada orang macam dia akan compare. Okay, espresso, filter brew, and then bulk brew, and then cold brew. Apa beza semua ni? Kenapa orang cakap minum espresso tak boleh tidur malam. Padahal caffeine is dalam espresso least compared to minum hand brew. Espresso takes 30 seconds to brew and then it has the least amount of caffeine compared to cold brew yang orang minum sekarang, orang jual bottle, they sell it $15 per bottle and then they brew 24 hours. Yang tu dia punya caffeine memang macam memang confirm penuh lah. Okay, memang banyak gila. So that is when I feel like okay, there's science behind coffee. So bila belajar lagi, okay, 2013 was an interesting year. Sebab masa tu aku belum kerja as a barista lah, I was still working. macam biasa kat West Sports, tapi aku get into volunteering. There's coffee events, aku pergi tolong. There's coffee competitions, I will go and watch. So worldwide ada this competition called World Barista Championship. So in 2013, the champ was a guy from US. His name is Pete Likata. Dia memang botak licin, jambang. So aku bila kat Coffee Bell, orang macam, "Wey, Pete." Aku macam, kau macam gerut.
Lebih kurang
Tu time tu je lah sekejap. Tapi that competition, apa yang aku suka, there was a guy from the UK, nama dia Maxwell Colonel Dashwood. So this guy was talking about water. Dia cakap macam, kenapa coffee ni bila brew pakai water, air yang ada siapa cakap asal dalgona ni? Sorry, aku baru chat. Dah cakap asal dalgona. Okay, sorry. Jadi Maxwell ni dia cakap pasal air. So bila dia cakap pasal air, dia cakap macam mana air boleh impact coffee brewing. Okay, so kalau air tu RO ataupun air tu higher pH, lower pH, dan barista paling suka cakap pasal total dissolved solids, basically apa kat dalam tu, minerals and stuff. So higher TDS will make your coffee brewing a bit more hard lah, sebab basically banyak sangat benda dalam air, tak boleh nak brew, tak boleh nak tarik benda keluar juga. So kita ada cakap pasal hard water, soft water. So masa tu aku macam betul, ini scientific sangat.
Ini macam aku pernah belajar dulu kan, macam tu kan?
Kan? Ini gila. So that dude even release a book. He worked with a professor, which is his friend. They came out with a book called Water for Coffee. Buku ni ada, aku lupa lah hari ni nak buat prop. Kau tak boleh macam ni lah buku dia. Tak ada. So korang bayang je lah ada buku.
Boleh cari. Apa nama dia buku? Apa buku tadi?
Water for Coffee.
Water for Coffee. Aku tulis dekat chat box ni, kalau for those who want to search for the book, boleh beli, share dengan aku.
Boleh. Aku ada buku tu. Jangan risau. Kalau nak pinjam boleh, tapi aku akan charge harga buku. Sebab
so this book literally change your way of thinking.
Yes. Dia memang macam, okay, I just want to get super geek with coffee, but at the same time, sebab aku buat barista training, I do a lot of coffee awareness program. Aku nak cakap pasal benda ni. This one, I just keep it to myself. If I want to get geeky, I will get geeky with a certain group. Tapi with public, when we're just talking about coffee, aku simpan. So it becomes much more of a personal interest for me. So
what is it called? Coffee awareness.
Coffee awareness program. So kita orang ada macam buat with the company that I used to work. Kita orang akan involve in events yang kadang-kadang has nothing to do with coffee. So we would do showcase rumah. Kita akan pergi, kita akan buat coffee programs, kita akan buat workshops, so that people will come. Diorang akan dengar workshop, at the same time nanti in between orang tu nak jual rumah, dia jual. That is an example. But we did a few. We did for corporate companies yang jual coffee pun ada. For example, we did a coffee event up in Genting. Okay, so at that when we do this kind of things, as much as we try to showcase the technicalities of coffee making, most of the time sebenarnya kita orang tak cakap pasal the science of it. Sebab it's a bit tough for people to understand sometimes. Even among
why is it because too technical, or too heavy
I would say too heavy, and then to a point yang okay. This is one thing yang banyak orang tak faham when they get into coffee business. Most of the time when someone get passionate with something, dia akan try nak pour everything out kan. Okay, for example, aku baru belajar pasal macam mana nak buat espresso. Lepas tu kenapa kena letak kopi banyak ni? Oh, jangan pakai banyak sangat. Kena ngam-ngam, kena head space dalam water filter, and then kena maintain air dalam 93 Celsius. Ada orang dia akan cakap banyak sangat benda yang detail. But sometimes when you talk to a customer, for example, me as a barista in a shop, when I talk to a customer will get confused. this always happen bila orang nak beli coffee. For
Maksudnya
example,
not all coffee consumers like they really want to know what's behind they just want to drink.
yes, correct. Kadang-kadang ada orang dia akan ask you questions yang macam nampak macam dia macam, oh okay, I want to go deep. Tapi sebenarnya dia cacah. So kita pun kena tengok, kena macam faham-faham juga. Sebab ni selalu jadi bila orang nak beli coffee beans especially. Di cafe ke macam, I brew coffee at home. Can you suggest me one coffee?
The best coffee beans.
The best coffee beans. Can you biasanya mesti macam, what's the best coffee that you ever drink? Lepas tu for someone who's a barista, for example, dia mesti macam there's no such thing, or dia macam it depends, what do you mean by best coffee? So benda dia conversation yang jadi macam makin lama makin besar dia jadi mengarut.
Betul. Again, not all barista have the same way of mentality untuk engage dengan dia customer, betul tak?
Betul. Tapi aku rasa yang tu it's a different story, is basically understanding what your customer wants. Semua itulah.
That's another thing.
Tapi talking about passion, most of the time people think that I am pursuing my passion. Tapi aku true is a passion. Tapi at the same time aku tengok dia lebih macam okay, I am in this like super deep. Like how deep is it? A few years ago, I assist my company to start barista as vocational training. So kalau let's say ada orang nak college, dia nak cari barista program, dia akan check macam, oh ada barista course lah. So basically the program was developed by the company that I used to work, and then I assisted that program, and then up to point kalau memang ada orang nak ambil, aku yang akan invigilate that program. So aku rasa I spend a lot of times in this, and then aku dah memang get super deep into this, and then aku rasa okay, there was a point where passion macam tak ada, hilang, spark dah tak ada. Spark yang masa start awal-awal tu, after a couple of years dia hilang. So dia jadi macam kenapa dah hilang? Kenapa aku dah tak suka ke benda ni? I think it happens to a lot of people.
Yeah, it happened to me as well. Yeah.
So macam betul aku nak buat ni. So for me, masa aku belajar tu is when I take my time to think, and at the same time masa aku run my own shop. As much as the shop didn't make money, to be very frank, if you want to know how to make money, I'm not the right people. I am actually the wrong guy to talk to. Tapi basically what happened to me at that time, I was like, okay, betul ke nak buat ni? Aku suka ke? So as I run the shop, I get to meet people. I talk to people yang tak minum kopi jadi suka minum kopi. I talk to those guys yang ada coffee machine at home, and then suddenly macam tak reti pakai, tapi I told them, okay, bring let me let's share lah how to use this, and then maybe if I don't know so then I can try. So macam after point, the guys yang datang kedai aku bawa mesin dia sendiri and learn how to make coffee. They now open their own thingy. Ada yang run from home, ada yang run pop-up store. So then goes back to me macam, why coffee? Sebenarnya it's not about the coffee that much. For me, it's more about the conversation that I had with these people. Aku rasa apa yang aku suka at the end of the day is
to engage with people, to talk with people,
and to help. If let's say there's something that they need, then I help. Simple as okay. Macam I remember aku dah tergelak, tapi kalau kau jangan marah aku lah. Kau ingat yang masa kau call aku
pasal ni basically benda tu wife aku suruh cerita, tapi aku macam okay, kita relax jap, nanti kita cerita ujung-ujung nanti kan.
Tapi memang itu memang aku gelak sampai bila aku gelak.
Aku tak sangka kau gelak, bro.
Tapi aku memang nak
malam
gelak.
ni baru aku tahu kau gelak. So okay, fine. But it was memang layak digelak lah sebenarnya benda tu. So memang layak digelak. So boleh kau nak share ke? Aku nak share ke?
Kau share lah, kau share.
Okay, so basically what happened last time back in 2018, I still remember 28 July. Before that I was very heavy coffee drinker kan. Memang tapi masalahnya I drink coffee because memanglah sebab kita suka, sedap and everything. Tapi lebih kepada waktu tu macam there's a lot of things happen before that, prior to that. was quite stress, ada macam yelah, bila kita macam Afiq cakap ada life up and down kan, tapi kita terlupa yang sometimes we cannot simply take things to heart, betul tak? Maksudnya kita tak boleh nak terlalu obsess sangat at one point. Jadi during that time what happened, I think I drank quite a lot of coffee lah kan. So menyebabkan orang-orang yang ada masalah perut ni, dia special or dipanggil GERD ataupun gastroesophageal reflux disease. Orang yang ada masalah ni dia akan ada high tendency untuk ada reflux lah. So this kind of thing, it happened to me, and then what I did was, because before that I knew that Afiq memang very active in coffee, so I texted him through Instagram kan, betul tak? And then I told him everything, blah 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 blah, and dia pun consult lah, bagi banyak idea, banyak benda, jangan cold turkey and everything semua kan. Tapi aku actually dah start balik minum bro.
Dah start balik minum.
Aku dah start balik minum. So macam slowly lah, not bukan every day macam dulu. So itu pun antara benda yang aku nak tanya jugalah later. Your advice, especially nowadays kita tengok ramai yang minum kopi sebab aku tak tahu lah, mungkin sebab sekarang ni semua orang tengah hype dalam Instagram, Facebook, kopi kan. Tapi dia orang faham tak tentang the acidity ke, dia orang faham tak the health effect or the health benefit of drinking coffee, the arts of what is the best way. Macam aku ingat pengalaman aku masa aku kat UK dulu, aku kawan dengan ramai orang Itali tau. Jadi diorang ni ada satu perangai yang memang every morning dia akan minum espresso. And then dia orang minum double shot bro. Aku pernah terminum sekali. Terminum. Aku terminum sebab dia offer. Jadi aku memang terus naik kepala lah. Tapi during that time, kita macam ikut je lah kan. Tak adalah this health effect and everything. Cuma sekarang ni mungkin, tak apa, kalau kau nak jawab later pun tak apa. Mungkin kau nak continue
balik. Biar aku stop juga.
Ya.
Aku rasa kita dah memang dah get into that part lah. So, share ni dulu. Okay. So, your question just now.
Okay. So, okay. Yang bab coffee itulah. So, basically, what is your advice actually for, especially for those who just started drinking coffee, or for those yang sebenarnya ni dia minum kopi kampung, tapi sekarang ni dia dah start pergi Starbucks, dia pergi Coffee Bean, dia macam dah jadi macam every morning dia kena minum kopi. Dia macam like satu ketagihan lah, macam kena ada juga every morning. I remember macam our friend Latif, dia sampai aku rasa dia masih lagi heavy coffee drinker. Dia macam cakap aku dia memang kena minum kopi. Tapi at one point ada juga comparison antara coffee 3-in-1 dan juga the real coffee, because coffee 3-in-1 ni banyak gula semua. So kadang-kadang orang terminum lebih, dia badan jadi naik and everything. So tapi bila tengok orang Itali tak ada pula, yang kaki minum kopi tak pula gemuk-gemuk kan. Kita yang di Asia Tenggara ni boleh tahan banyak obese kan, tapi minum juga banyak 3-in-1. So what's your advice on that?
Okay, aku rasa it goes back to our culture lah kot. Kita ni memang generally suka benda manis. So when it comes to coffee, those yang minum coffee tiba-tiba they start with minum, it's not actually coffee lah, I would call it a dessert instead. Sebab if let's say you were to get a cup of coffee yang from any chain yang memang ada whipped cream and stuff, coffee dia satu shot je dalam tu. Satu shot, it doesn't even give you any taste of coffee. So for me, okay, cara paling senang if you want to get started or if you love drinking coffee a lot, control lah. You need to know your limit. Macam kenapa macam bila Dr. Zat bagi tahu yang dia, let's say masa kau kena tu kan, sebenarnya aku teringat aku kena. I happened to me one time. I went up and then with couple of friends. I was not a barista yet at the time, but I made friends with barista. So ada satu time ni a good friend, he owns a cafe. So dia and his team, macam 5 of us kot, kita orang pergi, rasa lagi ramai. We went from one cafe to another. We went to like 3 cafes in a day. Pagi kita orang breakfast, cafe, minum kopi, belilah cold brew lah, cold drip lah, espresso, white, semua kita orang share. Seorang minum sikit. We order like a lot of coffee. Lepas tu makan nasi kandar.
Oh, gila.
Makan nasi kandar, lepas nasi kandar, okay, another round of coffee. Pergi lagi, minum lagi.
Back to back
Nah, back to back.
Gila.
Memang rasanya dekat 3 cafe we went and then we had a lot of coffee. It was fun because like I said, what got me into coffee is the conversation, not really the cup.
Hmm.
By the end of the day, esok tu kerja, masuk Westport, morning. Masuk kerja aku macam, kenapa tak boleh buka mata ni? Tak boleh buka mata. So macam, boss call. Kat mana Fik? Tidur dalam toilet bos, tak boleh, mata tak boleh buka ni. Tak tahu kenapa, tak cukup tidur. So I had jittering and twitching on my eye for about a week plus kot. So that is when I realised macam, okay, I need to control my intake of coffee. So dia ada threshold. Ada orang boleh minum dia macam let's say you drink 2 to 3 cups a day. Ada sampai masa 3 cup tak ada apa, tak ada effect, boleh je tidur, boleh berdengkur. Ada orang satu cup, separuh cup pun macam tak boleh sebab dia tak biasa langsung. It's foreign untuk badan dia minum caffeine kan. Tapi for me, you need to understand lah berapa banyak korang nak minum and then control the amount. For me, I control especially nak masuk puasa. Sebab I will have like really bad withdrawal syndrome. First day, second day, third day puasa. Memang macam ada orang tumbuk mata. Behind my eyes rasa macam ada pinching tajam, memang rasa nak muntah lah. So I realised that the first year I work at Barista Gate Asia. So I realised macam nak puasa memang ni lah caffeine withdrawal syndrome. So that's why I told you that don't quit cold turkey because that's what gonna happen lah. Caffeine withdrawal syndrome. So for me, caffeine withdrawal syndrome was really bad lah. So every time when if let's say puasa, I would slow down from drinking 4 to 5 cups a day sebab masa tu kerja kita orang training kan. So there are days we drink like about 20 espressos pun ada. Tapi I tried to reduce. Tak dekat puasa maybe a day memang macam bila orang bagi je, okay no bro, I had enough today. Control sampailah macam today I can go days without drinking pun sebenarnya. Ada point yang tak ada hari macam okay aku boleh je tak minum kopi. Ada hari boleh je minum banyak tapi be prepared lah the next day crash lah kot.
Tapi kalau macam aku kan sekarang ni aku minum kopi, aku akan ngantuk ke bro? Aku macam dah tak ada, selalu orang minum people they drink coffee because they want to stay awake. Tapi in my case, aku minum ke aku tak minum aku rasa macam sama je.
Ada orang memang dia dah threshold dia macam tu. And then it depends on the time. Macam tadi kau cakap Italian, they will drink coffee pagi, awal pagi espresso. One thing is because of the taste. Bila espresso ni, when you drink espresso, rasa dia intense. Caffeine dia tak tinggi sangat. Maybe lah per shot is about 27 milligram of caffeine. Tak banyak pun.
Untuk espresso?
For espresso. Per day you can take up to 500 milligram, 300 to 500 depending on your body lah.
Yang paling tinggi sekali kalau dalam market sekarang kan, kalau kita tengok macam-macam kopi ada kan, which one yang betul-betul like paling tinggi sekali caffeine? Is it Americano?
Americano sebenarnya tak banyak pun. Americano is similar to espresso. Americano is basically espresso ada tuang air. Cold brew ada banyak. Kenapa? Sebab caffeine is inside the coffee kan. Caffeine ni at first is the defense system of the plant. Betul tak?
Betul.
So ada dekat the whole plant tu memang ada lah caffeine. Tapi dalam kopi ni bila kita minum kopi, caffeine comes from the beans itself lah. So for cold brew, how they make it is different than espresso. Espresso kita akan grind the very tiny and then we put it in a thing called portable filter. Kita akan brew high temperature, short time. High temperature, short time. So macam caffeine ni pula dia keluar depending on the amount of the length of time that coffee beans intact with water. So kalau macam espresso tadi 30 seconds, tak banyak
Not that much lah.
Not that much compared to cold brew. Cold brew orang tak paling tinggi 8 hours. Ada orang buat 24 hours. Bila dia lagi lama, caffeine tu memang akan keluar. So it's obvious kalau kita buat teh, kita tinggal teh tu lama, rasa pahit kan. Dia contributed dia contributed sikit lah by caffeine. Although caffeine supposed not to have any specific taste. Tapi lebih kurang macam tu lah. Dia get much more intense in terms of caffeine punya amount. So memang kena control, kena tahu apa yang minum. Let's say you're drinking cold brew, then don't go more than 2 cups. Or if possible, satu je. Ada orang dia apa ni, dia boleh minum banyak dan minumlah banyak. But for me, I think if I get a cup of cold brew or cold drip, lagi-lagi kalau dia cakap dia 24 hours drip, memang aku macam small cup je lah nak try je. I won't drink the whole cup. So espresso aku boleh minum banyak-banyak sebab kalau let's say lah aku minum 10 espresso pun, it's gonna be just the amount of
Equivalent to
one cold brew. Hmm.
okay.
So tu salah satu cara lah. You need to know what you're drinking, and then type of coffee pun depend juga tapi like I said, coffee has a lot of science in it sebenarnya. Coffee reacts differently when you roast it light roast or dark roast. Lain roasting style akan lain cara nak brew. And then sebenarnya there's no exact way to tell macam this coffee would have a lot of caffeine, this coffee doesn't. Sebenarnya dia memang dia macam Pandora box, buka je lagi macam-macam lah coffee world. So like for example, this year especially, benda yang orang paling selalu cakap, this is among coffee professionals lah, they talk about anaerobic process. What is anaerobic process? Anaerobic process ni, coffee beans ni semua dia go under a process yang akan impact rasa dia. Proses ni happens after harvesting. So after coffee has been harvested, dia akan go through either natural process. Natural macam yang tadi aku bagi contoh awal-awal, dia petik coffee beans tu, dia letak je terus. Coffee cherry dia letak terus atas patio, dia keringkan. Itu natural. Kalau the opposite of that is wash process. Dia buka cherry tu, dia keluarkan coffee beans tu, lepas tu dia letak dalam air, dia leave it in a fermentation tank.
Okay.
Dia
So ada
overnight.
maksudnya dia ada post treatment lah lepas dia buka cherry tu. Okay.
So lepas tu ada another way. Today they talk about anaerobic reaction. So anaerobic is basically dia buka and then dia tinggalkan dalam bag overnight ke. Ada yang natural, ada yang dia dah basuh dengan air. So there's a lot of things. So these things will make your coffee taste better, and at the same time dia terus dah ubah the whole thing. Dia dah jadi macam ni coffee ke ni teh. So it's a different spectrum altogether. And then ada orang macam letak ada kind of fruits inside, dia nak infuse, dia nak make sure that the coffee tastes very nice, doesn't taste.
Sekarang dia letak ni bro, ada letak butterscotch pada bro.
Di dalam bila proses ke bila
aku pernah minum satu dekat Sungai Lembing baru ni. Dia ada coffee, butterscotch coffee.
Macam, yang tu dia letak ni lah, sirap.
Aku macam tak boleh belah macam.
Itu tak sirap kan. Ni bukan letak dalam sirap. It's not as a beverage.
Ni maksudnya masih ada treat dah, masih buat treatment tu.
Masa treatment. So all this treatment akan impact coffee. So macam natural process coffee would have lower acidity compared to wash process coffee. So kalau let's say kita tengok dekat chat, aku tengok chat sekejap boleh?
Boleh. Adalah few questions. Tapi aku ada juga banyak question juga ni.
Okay.
Okay.
Aku tengok dalam chat dulu.
Alright, so kita dah cakap banyak pasal coffee. That's good. The best thing is actually we need to be happy lah. Kita kena minum tu. Kita kena nak minum kopi ni dalam keadaan happy. Janganlah minum dalam keadaan tertekan kan.
Betul.
Okay, so basically sebabkan program kita ni basically kita nak inspire our younger generations, our our juniors, ada juga my students dalam ni kan. Basically sebab you came from a science background. Okay, you came from a science background. Macam mana kau rasa macam after you graduate last time, was it hard for you to search for a job?
Okay, like I said, my plan at first, mula-mula I want to do what the rest of my friends are doing lah. Sebab banyak dalam batch aku, they get into safety. Sebab masa kita orang punya concentration, we had industrial safety, industrial health.
Dengan Dr. Syukri ya?
Aku tak ingat siapa. So that program banyak yang memang masa tu decided safety lah ni paling logik untuk kita lah. Kita ni dah lelaki dah ramai kan. So a lot of us took that road. I took the road also as well. Tapi aku rasa I end up in a different company. I end up in Westports. So dekat Westport, masa aku join tu dia tak ada lagi safety department. They just about to start.
I
for itu.
see.
So apa
Right on time lah kira waktu tu. Memang.
tapi it was like for me macam okay, betul ke aku nak buat safety ke aku nak buat something else. So suddenly I got offered to get into a different department. Masa tu lah aku realise macam my interest is slightly different as much as a lot of people are doing safety and health. Masa tu aku realise macam okay, I just want to touch people's life. So from doing there are things that happen lah masa aku dekat doing corporate job. So macam aku rasa certain things were not right as much as it's a normal practice in corporate world, tapi aku rasa macam that's just not me. So that's one of the reason why I left lah. Tapi other than that aku rasa at that point of time when I get to know that okay, I'm interested in learning more about coffee, for example lah so that is when aku rasa macam okay, I need to give this a chance. For example, if you have anything that you want to do, takkan nak tunggu sampai dah tua nak regret. That is the thing in my head lah. I try to live my life without regrets lah kot. Sebab I think to be very frank, me flunk aku punya opportunity to get into pharmacy tu dah jadi bagi aku that's the biggest regret lah. Not to say that I don't enjoy studying biomedical science semua ni, tapi kira macam that's the regret that I had, to be very frank. So whatever that happens after that, aku try to tak nak ada regret. So whatever that I do, I try to give it a go. So itu yang I thought, if you find something and you feel that that's the right choice at that particular time, and then don't hesitate.
Betul.
Sebab kalau kerja tu tak wujud sekalipun, you can always find ways to make it happen. Sebab contohlah ada orang dia cakap macam contoh ada let's say lah, even from a barista point of view, they say like okay, coffee je nak jadi apa. Sebenarnya banyak sangat benda boleh jadi. Banyak sangat yang it's endless, sky is the limit. Nak jadi barista, jadilah barista. Tapi barista, yelah ada orang kan question how long would you be making this coffee. Okay, you can take the road that I took aku jadi barista trainer. That's one way. If not, you can explore. There's actually a lot of things. Kalau you nak get into corporate world, as a person that is specialized in coffee, for example, ada sebenarnya for companies like Nestle,
they hire people like this.
They do hire people specifically as a coffee specialist. Tapi dia tak letak lah nama orang tu coffee specialist, dia letak lah beverage specialist ke.
At least dia jadi plus point lah dalam CV kan. Maksudnya
dia memang nak kata plus point pun dia bukan plus point tu, memang that's their job. Their job is to explore the world of coffee. So kalau kat Malaysia memang tak banyak, not handful, tapi boleh cari. Tapi kalau worldwide, even places ada such thing called head of coffee. Dalam satu company tu ada orang yang memang kerja dia think about coffee.
Good.
So if you get you can see if let's say lah you're into biotechnology, you're interested in in exploring I could only give coffee example lah So kalau coffee like I said just now anaerobic process semua tu. So macam kat sini Azhar siapa ni Daus tanya Aceh Gayo wine tu kira treated anaerobic. Okay. Aceh Gayo tu nama kopi lah Aceh is the place, Gayo is the type of coffee. Wine could be in this case I don't know whether it's the name or not, sebab kadang-kadang dia nama je, kalau tak dia ada proses yang memang dia letak coffee in wine barrel. So I'm not a big fan of it sebab one thing we don't drink lah. Tapi if let's say we look at it as a process, if let's say the wine barrel tutup, tak ada any oxygen goes in, nothing goes out, so memang tu jadi anaerobic lah in a way. So that's an example of anaerobic process. So if let's say you are into biotechnology and then you want to get very deep into coffee, you can always assist farmers. Farmer kat Malaysia banyak sebenarnya sekarang ni, bukan
yang jual kopi kan. Macam ada kat Sabah yang ada kau share baru-baru ni kan. Aku actually mesej dia orang. Dia memang jual lah, dia jual jual the daun kopi, pokok kopi.
Pokok. Aku beli.
Dekat Taiping pun actually ada. Aku pernah pergi kopi Ang Tong something like that di
kalau dia lowland kebiasaannya dia library card. Okay, apa-apa saja yang sekarang ni sawit, dulu semuanya kopi. Tapi sebab kita pernah kena ni, kalau based on Maldi punya apa paper, dia memang cakap around 70s kot, apa coffee memang dekat Malaysia kena coffee rust, apa punya disease. So
Okay.
so masa tu memang
So that's
semua
the
orang tu
thing. That is
give
the
up lah.
opportunity lah actually. Kalau kita, kalau for those biotechnology, especially
Hmm.
plant biotechnologies kan, that's something that they can look into.
Yes,
Tak adalah
memang
work only on apa, tak adalah work only on macam tanaman komoditi lain. Maksudnya kopi sendiri pun is something yang you have to consider as well. The
betul.
reason kenapa aku tanya, because nowadays everyone is talking about job opportunities in science graduate tau. This is another way kenapa aku semangat gila nak buat sharing session ni. Sebab aku nak bagi tahu kepada the whole world, yang not just the whole world lah, Malaysia kan, yang actually okay, in science, in one way memanglah betul. Kalau dia nak jadi seorang saintis ataupun kalau dia nak jadi seorang science officer, memang jawatan tu sangat limited lah. Betul tak? Sebab sebagai contoh, kalau aku dapat grant research 90,000 pun, aku hanya boleh allocate like 2% untuk jadi RA aku for 1 or 2 years. Just imagine kalau kita nak buka job opportunity, government nak allocate such amount of money to research, memang difficult. Tapi aku nak bagi tahu juga kepada our juniors kan, macam benda yang aku cakap dalam title tu, diversify our career pathway tu. Maksudnya bila even though macam Afiq, even though dia ada degree in biomedical science, so bila dia dah kerja, basically dia boleh relate balik tau dengan everything yang itu pun aku nak tanya juga. Okay, so based on your experience as a biomedical student, as an IIUM student, which part of the experience no matter whether you are an IUM ke Kulliyyah of Science, yang you rasa really help you in becoming what you are now? Which part yang kau rasa macam okay, aku buat something, okay, actually this ada orang dia macam join sciences. Bila dia join sciences, dia banyak buat secretary work kan. Dia banyak tulis proposal, dia banyak buat surat, dia banyak communicate, macam orang jadi pengerusi program and everything, dia pandai cakap. Jadi bila dia masuk marketing punya field, itu satu bola tanggung kan untuk dia. Tapi for yourself kan, masa kau belajar dulu, bila kau dah habis, kau dah cakap tadi kau lebih kepada nak buat networking semua kan. Tapi sekarang ni macam mana? Kau rasa macam ada tak any part of during your study period tu yang kau rasa macam betul-betul bagi really a significant impact on what you are now?
Aku rasa masa belajar, cakap pasal networking tu kan, dia memang 100% what I did during studies is what I applied back to what I'm doing right now. So masa tu, let's say lah, go back to masa belajar. Aku start biomedical science. I don't know anyone, okay, sebab macam memang dah tukar kelas pun kan, and then ni nak kena buat kawan baru. So macam okay, then aku fikir okay, should I stay in one group or should I like be friends with a lot of people? So paling obvious, aku main basketball. I play basketball. And my roommates back in foundation, during foundation was
Piran.
Piran farmasi. Tapi kira basically aku pernah budak-budak farmasi, aku dah budak-budak medik before that. So bila dengan budak sciences, aku macam okay, aku main basketball, kenal budak-budak, kawan dengan budak-budak ni. So macam bila nak lepak siapa? Lepak dengan mama dengan budak sciences. Duduk rumah, okay, duduk dengan siapa? So kalau aku dalam, walaupun aku tak adalah plan, tapi bila aku tengok balik, aku sebenarnya when I go and play basketball, aku main banyak dengan budak lain. Kalau aku main lepak malam dengan orang lain, aku duduk rumah yang aku sewa dengan orang lain. So I did a lot of things with different people, so that I get to know a lot of things yang macam aku tak perlu busy body dan pergi tanya dan research. So basically bila lepak, dengar sikit, orang ni dengar sikit. So when I work, I make sure that I meet a lot of people. Basically not to become like super busy body kind of person, tapi basically I be friends with them, and then so they give me input. aku kawan orang ni pula, okay, this is another input. So lama-lama aku network dengan handful of people. By the time aku join, let's say lah, masa aku join Barista Gate Asia, some of the people that I get to know in that company or during the events, I already know them before I join the company. Sebab sebelum aku join company tu aku dah start network dengan orang. So that's my style lah. Aku realise masa bila even though masa belajar tu tak sengaja buat macam tu. Tapi when I keluar start kerja, aku macam realise aku sebenarnya macam ni. That's the reason why aku try to be involved in few things so that I get to know a lot of people.
Dia boleh tak kita cakap macam is actually your macam kopi comfort zone, betul tak?
Boleh
Maksudnya walaupun macam tak adalah nampak related sangat, tapi it's something yang kau used to do, something yang kau enjoy, which is mingle around with people, and then you maintain that kind of attitude while you are currently working. So okay, that's cool. Okay,
aku
bro.
rasa tu ada impact lah dekat kerja sebab aku rasa benda tu yang buat macam ada even among my coffee colleagues lah, dia say like, kau kenal ramai orang macam tak juga sebenarnya, but I do make friends. Aku macam okay, jumpa sekali dua sembang, get to know them personally. Lepas tu okay, then always remember their name lah, tu paling penting.
Betul. Sometimes you don't know kan, kita jumpa orang tu mungkin he happen to be somebody work in a very big company, we don't know. Dia kena rajin mulut. Tapi Afiq ni sebagai contoh, dia adalah seorang junior yang sangat apa orang panggil mesra alam lah.
Aku tak tahu malu lah, tu je lah.
Mesra alam. Aku tak tahu macam mana kau boleh lepak kita orang dulu. Tak apa benda kita borak kan. Tapi I remember.
Kita borak Glenn Hansard, bro.
Betul, aku nak petik nama tu, bro. Tapi macam benda tu bahaya sikit. Cakap pasal blog tu kan.
Tak payah.
Okay, so sekarang ni kita tengah cuba what do you call it, macam dekat our kuliah ni, our university, kita memang sangat-sangat mempromotkan student untuk venture into entrepreneurship. Okay, bro. Entrepreneurship ni adalah keusahawanan lah. Sebab yelah, bila aku cakap tadi kerja sebagai science officer tu tak banyak. Jadi tapi kurang daripada graduate, tak banyak, not many from our kuliah members ataupun student, yang even lecturer sekalipun tak banyak yang venture into entrepreneurship. Padahal inilah something yang macam sekarang COVID, kau tengok berapa ramai yang berapa kaya lah Moderna, Pfizer, Biotech and everything yang make money from making vaccine. Padahal itulah entrepreneurship dia. That is the bigger picture. Tetapi yang kecil-kecilnya macam jual baju, macam kau jual biji kopi. Jual biji kopi simple, jual biji kopi daripada pelbagai negara. Tapi sepatutnya sebagai orang yang ada background science, kau boleh ceritakan tu kepada your customer in a very creative way. Kadang orang macam intrigue dengar, okay. Even sekarang ni orang tunjuk minum kopi dalam flask conical flask pun dah jadi trend. So what is your advice actually for our students yang who are interested to venture into business, tapi mereka macam takut-takut lah sebabnya kebanyakan the problem is IIUM, bukanlah problem, I mean kebanyakan kita ni mungkin bila dah 4 years semua fikir nak kahwin. Same goes to me, bro. Bila dah kahwin, so what happen is kau punya commitment, kau kena ada satu mental dalam kepala otak kau, you need some of money to support your wife. So itu benda yang most of the couples dilema lah kira. So itu yang menyebabkan ramai yang takut nak venture dalam business, sebab kita tahu business is not easy kan. It's not easy to make money. Macam yelah, bila kau dah kahwin suddenly kau nak bayar rumah ke, bayar kereta ke, everything, commitment dah perlu. Jadi a lot of people end up working makan gaji. Bila dah terlalu ramai yang making makan gaji, that is why macam banyak tak ada kerja. Tapi bukan tak ada kerja ada, cuma entrepreneurship tu tak ada siapa yang grab. Jadi what is your advice for the younger generation kan untuk venture into business? Doesn't matter lah in science ke, in anything ke, as long as it is something to do with business or entrepreneurship.
Kalau entrepreneurship ni dia memang kena trust your guts lah. Aku rasa first thing first, you trust your gut. If let's say you really want to jump into it, benda yang paling selalu orang cakap, kalau let's say kerja 9 sampai 5 tu dah rasa penat, entrepreneurship ni memang kadang-kadang tak ada tidur lah. So first yang kena ada in mind. Tapi how do you get into that kind of business, let's say get into business and then not feeling exhausted? Sebab ada orang dia start business lepas tu dia rasa exhausted. Satu cara tadi untuk you get something or you try something that you are passionate about. Passion ni bukanlah sebab you need to do benda yang kita suka je. It's not because of that. It's because passion will give you the first spark. Lepas tu nanti passion takkan stay long. Sebab bila kita dah start ada challenges, passion tu dah jadi macam penat lah benda ni, nak give up lah. So that is when perseverance comes lah. Okay, bila let's say you you get into entrepreneurship. So passionate, lepas tu passion tu hilang, lepas tu masa tu kena push je. And then you have to always remember why you get into it in the first place. Sebab tu kalau macam as simple as starting a business, orang akan tanya, what's your mission? Your vision. Benda tu basic. Kadang-kadang rasa macam skema pun dia juga, kenapa kita nak kena letak macam mission saya nak macam ni, syarikat terbesar di Malaysia. But why you put that or why you jot it down is because you want to refer it back bila kau dah pening nanti. Bila let's say kau dah memang macam am I doing this the right way, or this is the direction that I want to be. That is when you go back, tengok, okay, memang nak ikut benda ni. This has good night sayang.
Sorry, it's almost over.
So coming back to that, so if let's say you want to get into entrepreneurship, senang je, just trust your guts. Tapi
Trust your gut,
tapi lepas tu tak adalah trust macam langgar je terus. You need to have calculated risk lah, and then always get the mentor. So tadi ada siapa soalan,
who's your mentor?
Who's your mentor kan? Sebab aku duduk dengan banyak sangat orang, so pening juga. Tapi as in for coffee, my previous boss, my ex-boss, what he did with us at the company is that he let us do whatever we want.
Wow.
So in a way, he's a business mentor to me. Aku banyak tengok macam indirectly I learn a lot from seeing what he did. Rather than betul-betul sit down tanya, tak adalah memang susah nak jadilah. So sebab if you ask anybody that runs a business, do you have a recipe? There's no actual formulation. Semua orang go through different things, tapi semua sama. You akan jatuh tergulik, then only you go up. Kalau orang yang start, boom, tu lah orang kan, kalau orang yang jealous dia akan cakap tu lucky lah. Tapi in a way I think that's his rezeki. Tapi other than that, memang akan jatuh. And then bila jatuh tu we always say this back in our office back then, is either you sink or swim. Kalau kau sink, then memang lepas tu most of the time people will give up. And then entrepreneurship lah especially, orang give up, they can find a job and then okay lah, I'm just gonna stay here. To be very frank, out of 10 people that aku jumpa dalam business, dalam coffee industries yang run their own businesses, semua orang go through the same thing. Even I myself, I think throughout 2018, 2019, early 2020, tiap hari aku dah tengok LinkedIn dengan job street, is there a job that is suitable for me. So entrepreneurship tu lah, it's very challenging, but then again, if you get the right people, okay, when you start a business, the most important thing after you start a business is to get the right people. You have to get the right people. Tak boleh get the right people ni nak cakap macam mana pun sebenarnya susah juga. Tapi there's always guideline. You can ask around, and then keep yourself in the community. You shouldn't do things alone. Sebab kalau bila jatuh tu siapa nak tolong tu sebenarnya people around you.
In the end of the day, it's all about having a team lah, having a mentor, having a team, having someone yang can help you from the beginning, and you know, at least paling best sekali someone yang tegur you when you make mistakes.
Yes, correct.
I'm sure kau pun, kita semua banyak buat mistake. Bro, aku ada satu soalan yang macam tiba-tiba terfikir. Sekarang banyak cafe kan, hipster cafe lah orang cakap kan. Tapi is it necessary to have the coffee element when you, let's say any one of us dalam 20 orang ni with us today yang tinggi nak buka cafe? from a barista trainer point of view, punya advice kan, is it necessary to have the coffee punya, you know, element tu kena ada ke, nak beli, nak kena invest ke on all this high tech machine semua tu?
Okay, satu yang paling penting kena tahulah kafe tu maksud dia apa. Kafe tu coffee.
Okay.
Okay. Tapi sebenarnya tak apa, there are places yang apa you can apa search. There's a place called Neko, apa they only do matcha. They only do matcha. Tapi cafe concept, because cafe as much as the term means coffee, it doesn't have to be coffee lah. It could be anything. Tapi whatever you do, whenever you do, let's say F&B base, you have to make sure that you need to have USP, unique selling point. That's one thing. And then another thing is to look into things yang penting aku rasa. What is your specialty? Let's say kalau you say you want to do food, what kind of food? Okay, dia tak boleh cacar marba tak sebenarnya. The only place yang boleh ada semua benda dalam dunia mamak je. Selain daripada mamak,
itu pun sebab mungkin dia punya ambience yang menyebabkan orang nak lepak situ.
Yes, correct. So whenever you want to open a shop, fikir apa, kalau nak jual as simple as just tea, atau jual ais kepal je pun, boleh je hidup a shop that sells only ais kepal. Boleh je. Tapi you need to be
very good ais kepal maker lah.
Satu very good ais kepal maker, and then make sure that your competition you need to find the right place lah. When you do something like that, when you want to be the only person that does that, kena cari tempat. You cannot there's a different ball game. Dia bukan dah macam you can open anywhere and then I can do this. And then tiba-tiba orang sebelah jual cendol sedap. Dia apa lah. So market study tu penting lah.
Alright. So okay. There's so many things that we have discussed malam ni. But before that, mungkin kita pun dah at the end of our session, aku nak tengok kalau ada questions from our Facebook. Sebab ni pun live Facebook kak. Okay, kita ada satu question from Ija. Hi Afiq.
Okay.
Ija, Dr. Ija. So can you suggest a good coffee maker for a beginner?
Good coffee maker for beginner.
Macam soalan ni.
Soalan tu menarik. Kena
boleh promote?
Boleh promote. Tak nak promote sebenarnya. Sebab first thing first, it goes back to your budget. Okay, budget ni agak penting when you want to explore coffee. Tapi let me start with the most basic lah. Okay, if let's say first thing you need to know is what kind of coffee you want to drink. Okay, if you're a latte person or if you're a black coffee kind of person. Kalau let's say lah you drink black coffee, so you can start with machines yang manual. What you do is you get my personal favorite is called AeroPress. So it's not espresso sangat-sangat, tapi dia punya machine, dia punya equipment is long. Dia macam scale up syringe anyway. Dia macam sebab kena tekan. So dia yang tu will give you
manual French press gitu lah.
French press lain pula. French press is a vessel yang ada the glass and then you have metal filter kan. So AeroPress ni lain, dia plastik je.
Okay.
So it will give you a thick coffee. If let's say you want to make coffee macam let's say latte, then you just pour milk on top. So kalau you prefer something yang much more easier, then get a thing called mocha pot. Mocha pot ni Italian banyak pakai sebab getting an espresso machine at home memang jarang orang buat lah. Not in recent years, yes, banyak around the world orang dah.
Maksudnya tak semestinya kena invest on mesin yang besar tu lah.
So kalau let's say you use mocha pot ni kecil je. Just put some coffee, water at the bottom, letak on top of the stove. Nanti dia panaskan, coffee dia akan naik ke atas. Dia percolate. Dia akan filtered in the vessel itself, dapat take coffee. Okay. So that is nice. Tapi kalau betul-betul nak beli espresso machine, you need to have around at least
10K?
2 to 3K, 9K. Tak ada lah, tak payah beli. Sekarang ni dah banyak
Shopee pun ada kan sekarang.
Shopee dah ada mesin entry level.
Yang penting
So
boleh menjalankan tugas, pressure tu, okey lah.
yes. So kalau always start with something basic sebab
Takut menyesal di kemudian hari.
tak ada takut menyesal di kemudian hari. Aku rasa the process of you exploring is like driving your first car lah. Kalau let's say macam kau, aku tahulah kau tak your first car dengan
Jimny hijau bro. Jimny hijau.
Yelah memanglah kau Jimny hijau, so kau susah sikit kalau macam komputer. So aku rasa dia punya growth tu macam okay. Kalau Jimny hijau susah nak. So macam tu lah, same goes with
appreciating lah kan.
Yes. So you start with something basic. From there you grow. Kalau tak you just give me a text Dr. Ija jadi.
InsyaAllah.
Apa-apa.
Any other questions from our viewers? Nak cakap apa-apa ke, nak share boleh je. Kita ramai, kita ada Latif, ada ini Zarik Zakuan
Zarik Zakuan.
Ya Allah, lama tak jumpa Sekejap grad. Ada Dr. Madiana, kenal Dr. Madiana first batch. Dr. Tengku, our head of department for biotech. Kita juga ada my student Liana, Dr. Vidya ada. Dr. Vidya ni food biotech. So mungkin kalau kau nak tanya pasal, kau pernah tanya aku kan pasal research on food.
Aku recently
kan? Kau tanya aku memang susah lah sebab aku orang environment. Tapi kalau kau tanya orang macam Dr. Vidya, insyaAllah dia boleh bantu.
Aku recently tanya Hanan,
okay, yes, dekat UPM. Boleh kan? Okay, any other questions from everybody? Boleh tanya. Nak type boleh. Ada je tadi si Azhar dia tanya. Recommend sikit best water for coffee bro, Afiq, based on your experience. What is the ideal water?
Lama dia punya explanation tu panjang
ni. Nak air Kowe ke, air RO ke, air Evian ke?
Dia depends on coffee juga, tapi biasanya kalau let's say you want to explore, pakai air yang softer water lah, yang sebenarnya air rumah kita okey. Air Malaysia ni dia menarik, dia tak tinggi sangat ppm compare dengan kalau kau duduk UK, kau mesti ingat air kurang memang sampai scaling banyak kan.
Tapi air tu yang sedap bro.
Yang ada sodium tinggi. Air tu as if you drink it as is, dia memang sedap. Tapi to brew coffee,
dia mempengaruhi tak kopi?
Dia akan mempengaruhi sebab air tu sendiri dah ada rasa.
Okay.
So
maksudnya kena minum air, kena dapatkan air yang paling less taste lah, baru dapat enjoy maximize the taste of the coffee.
So memang ada orang buat aku tak ingat lah time ni lah pula aku tak panggil nama air tu. So basically
RO water.
Bukan RO water. Dia memang air yang sesuai untuk coffee brewing. Dia akan air kau pakai RO water, and then dalam RO water tu add minerals, add magnesium, add calcium. Dia ada dia punya percentage dia. So from there kau masak air tu, and then kau brew.
Bukan apa sebab lately aku buat dengan wife aku lah kan. So kita tahu yang air Kowe ni semua kan, dia filter is a filter water kan. So aku ada satu mesin aku device aku test dengan air Evian. Aku terfikir kenapa geng-geng kayangan ni kenapa suka minum Evian, kenapa suka minum, kalau kita tengok kan Instagram semua dia orang minum air-air yang macam ni tau. Dia orang tak minum air Spitzer ke benda kan. So aku try to compare the dia punya ppm, dia punya salinity, dia punya conductivity. Memang ada beza dengan air Kowe semua. So basically apa yang aku faham, mungkin aku salah, kalau kita minum Kowe ni basically any filter lah, kuku ke apa benda kan, kita hanya dapat dia punya benefit of hilangkan H2O lah. Tapi the benefit of the minerals tu kita tak dapat sebenarnya. Tak dapat kan?
Selamat jalan.
So point to ponder lah kan. Semua ada. Ni ada satu soalan daripada Widya. Best coffee, dia suruh kau suggest.
Best
Brazil
coffee.
or Sumatran?
Okay.
Aku
best
tak
coffee.
tahu.
Ini dia bergantung kepada apa yang anda telah minum sepanjang
maksudnya mempengaruhi lidah kau lah.
Juga dia preference. Best coffee ni sebenarnya dia preference. For me if let's say anything, I would go for things that is very weird. Coffee yang ada rasa blueberry, coffee yang rasa yogurty, sebab for me it's hard to find. So this kind of coffee is dia akan apa yang impact dia sebenarnya bukan dari mana dia datang, tapi dari macam mana dia diproses. So that's why we talk about we talked a little bit about anaerobic kan. Tapi if let's say we were to talk about origins kan, Brazil ke Sumatera ke ni, these are all known as single origins. Okay, single origin ni sebenarnya coffee that comes from a single place, and it could be as specific as a single farm. Okay, kalau dalam farm tu ada banyak lot, it could be as more specific sampai tahap macam each lot. Okay, so coffee ni semua bila let's say kita grow different space, different area, different height, different water, bukan bagi water, hujan, rainfall, different terroir, different sunlight, different climate, semua tu akan impact. Even dalam satu farm, kalau satu ni menghadap north, satu ni menghadap south, and then dia punya exposure to sunlight semua lain, coffee ni akan rasa lain. Okay, so kenapa orang selalu promote single origin? Because single origin is for me personally would give you experience and in terms of coffee yang mana setiap cup ni akan rasa berbeza. It's not just marketing lah. It's actually a very true thing. So if you were to get coffee, okay, let's say Brazil and Sumatra lah. Sumatra is Indonesia. Kita compare these two lah. Brazil is #1 coffee grower in the world. Okay, they grow a lot of commodity coffee. Okay, commodity coffee ni coffee macam mana? Coffee yang kalau kita minum kat mana-mana kita bau benda je, kita macam bau ni, bau kopi lah. Okay, kita minum apa-apa benda macam rasa macam kopi lah. So apa yang ada dalam our mind, coffee tu that coffee is actually Brazil lah, secara umum lah. Sebab in any type of coffee yang orang jual, kalau if let's say it's cheap, would have Brazil. Sebab Brazil biggest grower, biggest producer, and then the coffee is cheap from them. Okay, Sumatera pula for example, or Indonesia, kalau kita minum tadi, I give you an example. I told you that it would taste ashy, earthy. Okay, ni semua rasa yang kalau dulu orang macam bila minum kopi dari Indonesia je, it would taste like this. Why? Because that is the signature of the coffee bean, as in how it is grown and how it is processed.
Okay.
So sebab tu dia akan rasa macam tu. So why do people explore single origin? Is because different places would have different practice untuk nak proses coffee tu, daripada dia petik, daripada even some places would have coffee yang shaded. So kalau shade nanti rasa dia lain juga. Kalau macam India ada monsoon coffee, this coffee grows during monsoon. So dia akan bentuk dia akan lebih pelik, rasa dia akan lain. Okay, so so if you really want to ask what's the best coffee, it's a tough question. It's like asking what's the best pizza. Tapi if you know, then if let's say if you know what you like, as in you have preference, I could direct you to that direction. I could tell you which kind of coffee you should try. But satu cara untuk nak tahu coffee ni macam mana, less acidity. Okay, less acidity, it doesn't it's not just about where the coffee comes from. Bila coffee dah tumbuh, dia dah proses tu tadi, okay, remember this, wash, proses, coffee yang dah dibasuh, masa dia proses sebelum drying, dia akan ada higher acidity due to fermentation. Kalau dry process or natural process, fermentation dia happens naturally in the beans, so tak ada kena tak ada exposure lain, so dia punya acidity dia lesser. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, tu satu. Okay, kemudian apa yang akan impact towards less acidity, okay, is also roasting. When your coffee has been roasted, okay, or going through a roasting process, the darker you go, the lesser the acidity. So if you prefer something that has lesser acidity, go for something slightly darker. Okay, the problem with coffee being dark, dia sebenarnya dah hangus je lah. That's one of the reason why I wouldn't go towards dark roasted coffee. So dark roasted coffee ni, tak kisah mana-mana origin, it will taste slightly similar. There will be roasty taste. Dia akan ada origin taste tu still. Okay, tapi if you drink something a bit darker, susah sikit nak compare. But if you drink something a bit more lighter, boleh compare. Memang boleh compare. Contoh, the first time when I had Ethiopia. Okay, Ethiopia ni basically birthplace lah, tempat mana coffee grow wild. It's either Ethiopia or south of Sudan. Okay, so bila coffee from Ethiopia ni, as much as Brazil or Indonesia, India, Vietnam, semua ni ada similar tasting notes. Tapi when it comes to Ethiopia as one of the biggest coffee grower, diorang lain. Diorang punya coffee memang macam pasal coffee ni wangi sangat. Pasal coffee so it has this distinctive taste from that coffee. So sekarang ni farmers from around the world, even from Indonesia, they try to produce coffee that is different. So if let's say coffee from Indonesia used to be known as coffee, especially Sumatra, known to be coffee that is earthy, you can find coffee that is no longer earthy. Okay, coffee ni dia ada flavor. Tadi ada Azhar dia sebut flavorist. So memang ada professional shop called flavorist. So kerja dia merasa lah. So in coffee flavor, you can actually look for coffee flavor wheel. Dalam tu memang ada macam-macam benda yang boleh relate dengan coffee. Coffee could taste sweet. Coffee there's a tendency for coffee to taste towards floral notes, towards fruity notes. Possible semua ni. Ini bukan tambahan, dia memang coffee tu macam tu. Tapi how do you train yourself to taste coffee like that? Tu satu benda lain lah. Sebab
senada art lah maksudnya.
dia bukan another art, more towards technicality. Sebab kita minum benda manis. Bila kita minum benda manis, threshold untuk rasa manis tu tinggi.
Maksudnya kita ada kita punya preference awal-awal tu sendiri sebelum kita taste something.
So kita dah macam contohlah aku buat air sirap limau dengan sirap kosong. Kalau aku minum sirap limau tu dulu yang manis, lepas baru aku minum sirap yang kosong ni tadi.
Kau prefer something else kan?
Aku macam aku nak yang manis tadi.
Yang manis lah. Okay.
Sebab yang tadi tu akan macam ni tak ada rasa. So for you to explore coffee, you need to first quit drinking all coffees yang memang pakai gula.
For how long, bro? Berapa lama nak ada tempoh berpuasa daripada kopi tu untuk kita pergilah merantau merasa kopi-kopi, jadi coffee hunter ni?
Aku rasa tak lama sangat, macam puasa je.
Dia lebih kau macam withdrawal jugalah kiranya.
Dia bukanlah withdrawal. You have to dia bukan withdrawal. Basically you just have to bring down your threshold for sugar. Let's say lah sugar. Sebab kita makan gula, let's say lah jadi minum 3-4 sudu. Itu hari esok tak payah. Tak, memang dia akan tawar sampailah you get to a point yang you can actually taste sweetness. Let's say lah makan buah, you can taste sweetness in the fruit. Kau boleh rasalah fructose tu.
So itu dia punya standard lah untuk mengatakan.
Then you go start drinking coffee.
Okay.
Apa boleh je terus start drinking dark coffee yang ni, tapi mula-mula memang akan macam ekor lah, rasa macam apa minum air pahit, air tawar. Tapi that's one of the way lah.
Okay. Alright. Okay, Afiq, thank you very much. I don't think as much as I enjoy talking to you, not just about coffee and everything, I'm afraid that we don't really have much time. Maybe last question lah kan, if you would share your advice to your young generation, especially to our final year students kan, especially in searching for job lah, ni last lah, maksudnya the take home message to them. Maybe few last words from Afiq.
First job, jangan pilih. Just grab. Okay, whatever that you get. Because the thing that you want to learn from your first job is the experience of working and meeting people. More towards people management. I think my first few jobs that I had, I think the most important thing that I learned is people management. How you deal with people. How do you handle stress when you deal with people. That is important. That is all soft skills yang orang ingat tak wujud. Because when you talk to other people when they first work, the most common thing is that my boss so busy body lah, micromanage and all that. So whenever you look for a job or when you manage to get a job, take it and focus on people management first. Okay, and then when it comes to work, people always look for attitude, not really on your skills, but skills can actually be taught and learned. You can always unlearn, relearn. So employers doesn't really look at your skill that much unless apa memang let's say you are very good microbiologist and then people are looking for microbiologists, then that is a different story. But if let's say looking for a job in general, you need to have good working attitude. Okay, so be prepared, and then macam tadi lah, people management is important. For me, it's always about people. Skill is secondary. As much as you have a lot of skill, if you don't know how to deal with people, there's no point for you to have those skills.
Thank you very much. That's a very good take-home message to everyone, to everybody, including me. Everyone kan, kita walaupun dah umur like this, we are still actually learning. Every day is our learning process, and learning sampai bila-bila. So we finally reached the end of our sharing session for today. On behalf of the alumni, especially the Student Affairs Office under our Deputy Dean, Dr. Iskandar Bahri, also an alumni of this kuliah. I would like to thank to our guest, Brother Afiq, for sharing with us a lot of inputs, a lot of positive vibes, I would say, kan? Especially to inspire our current students and also our future graduates, and maybe our friends or anyone who is watching or listening to our session today. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And to all of you, inshallah, this is not the last one. This is the first episode of the third season. Season ni aku cakap bukanlah season tahun. Season ni ikut semester, bro.
Okay.
Dia bila ada semester, aku akan buat. Bila tak ada semester, aku tak buat. Ni semua pengaruh PKP ni. Okay, so thank you very much. So, inshallah, we will try to bring more alumni from various background back with us for our next sharing session. Inshallah, next week aku nak try bawa daripada CTS. And thank you very much for your support for this series, especially shout out to our amazing alumni members kan, for their commitment. Macam aku tengok kat sini yang aku tahu alumni, Teng, lepas tu siapa lagi, Kak Widya, tadi ramai kan, Zarik, Inawan, Latif ada. Thank you very much for your commitment in helping the next generation to succeed in their life. We need this kind of platform so that we can allow our alumni to give back to the alma mater kan. Korang, aku harap korang dapat fully utilize this platform. Sebab kadang-kadang alumni dia nak bagi something tapi platform tu tak ada untuk dia orang. Bukan tak ada, platform ada tetapi kita tidak menyorongkan bantal kepada mereka untuk mereka ambil bantal tersebut. Jadi hopefully we all can grab this opportunity untuk engage or give back to our community, to our university. Indeed, undergraduate days has always been a special place in everyone's heart. So please keep in touch. Please follow our Facebook page, our Kulliyyah Facebook page, and also please like other departments' Facebook page as well for more information regarding your department or maybe on how you can contribute back to our university. For those who have missed this channel, this session, don't worry. You can still view this. InsyaAllah, after this, aku akan compilekan, masukkan dalam YouTube channel, sign on. Just type SCI-ON. Ini satu gerakan lagi yang kita akan bawa untuk promote STEM, untuk promote science, technology, engineering and mathematics among school kids. Sebab nowadays memang sangat tak ramai yang berminat nak join ambil STEM science related course sebab dia orang kata tak ada kerja. Itu benda yang aku nak tackle sebenarnya. Kerja ada, cuma you have to diversify. You are a scientist, you should be creative. You should not just focus only on makan gaji or kerja spesifik macam scientist or science officer or whatever. Okay, so please remember to stay safe, stay at home if possible. Kalau nak keluar pun, just pakai mask, don't worry. Always kalau boleh buatlah RTK test tu regularly lah kalau siapa yang selalu keluar. We are still far from winning this battle against COVID-19. Dengan sekarang pun kat UK pun dah start naik balik. Variant baru pun dah banyak. Just be safe lah. Be safe. And also, thank you from me. I hope to see all of you again. Thank you again, Afiq. See you again, inshallah, next episode. So with that, let's end our session with tasbih kafarah surah wal as. Subhanakallahumma bihamdika asyhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Wal asna insana lafi husnal lazina amanu wa Amin. Thank you very much, guys. Assalamualaikum and good night. Take care. All right.